Hey guys, welcome back to the Mindcrack server. It's been a few days since the last Mindcrack server episode. And for people that weren't aware, the server was actually completely down, shut off for several days during Hurricane Sandy. The building where these servers are located is in, I think it's in New York. I think that's what Good said. And their basement was flooded and the power was off. There was a extended blackout in New York. I think there's still quite a few people without power in New York. But the basement was flooded, and that's where their generators were. So no power on the grid, no generators equals no Mindcrack. But it's been back up for a couple days now, and I've been doing a little work on this area for the wasteland, or the future wasteland village. It's funny, people said, why on earth did you remove all the sand and sandstone only to replace it with dirt and grass? Why didn't you just find a biome that was already, made with grass? And there's a few answers to that. One is that I didn't plan it this way. I only had the idea to start with a lush pre-apocalypse village and then end the world and then have a wasteland village. I only had that idea after I had cleared out all this. Another is that after we end the world, we're gonna need all this. The terrain will return to this, and I'll be removing most of the dirt, and it may get replaced with mycelium. Not sure yet, but yeah, part of it is because I didn't plan it out. It just kind of happened that way, and the other part is because. So there. Anyway, okay, so today I would like to work on setting up the layout of the village and maybe work on designing some houses and different buildings. Depending on how much I get done, I don't really know how time-consuming different parts of this is going to be. You can see I extended and I've sort of a little bit smoothed out the areas here. You can't see any exposed stone like here. I guess only here where the rail line is. It's still a little rough around the edges, but I will smooth things out as we build the village outwards. And I think eventually, for the amount of stuff I want to have in this village, I think I'm going to want to extend it. See where my cursor is? We've got a center here, and it goes out to about here. I think I want to basically double the diameter, or the radius of both. All the way out to here, all the way back to there. So if I were to do some math, I would say that's more than double what we've already done. But I have a lot available here, a lot of landscape, so we can do a decent amount of work. One thing to consider is there's basically two ways I've been thinking about approaching the theme of the village. One is because it's going to be like this zombie apocalypse thing, and I'm taking inspiration from a lot of zombie things like The Walking Dead, and I've been actually thinking about Project Zomboid a little bit and how they laid out their town. That's a small indie game. I think it's still in beta, or maybe it's an alpha. I don't know, but that's a fun game. Go play it. So if we take the approach of building the village as a sort of real world town, then we might have a highway running straight through it, and maybe a gas station and a general store or something, and then on one side of the highway would be like some houses and stuff, that kind of thing. We might have some general stores, there would be a mayor's house, all that kind of stuff. The other, is it getting dark? Yes, it is. But I have a bed right there, and nobody else is online. Milby was online about 5 minutes ago, but he was drunk and he logged off. So the other way to approach it is to keep it consistent with the sort of lore and themes of Minecraft. For instance, there's no cars in Minecraft, so there wouldn't be highways. We might have a path leading directly through town, in and out, and then the village at the center. But there wouldn't be cars, there wouldn't be a gas station, that sort of thing. So if I go that direction, that begs the question: how does the world end? Are there nuclear bombs dropped? Well, there's no nuclear bombs in Minecraft. So we'd have to come up with something else. One of the ideas I was thinking about, and we're going to get to building, actually I can let's pop over here and use this bed. One of the ideas I was thinking is, what if there's a scientist in the village, and he's got a laboratory somewhere, a building we'll make, and he starts experimenting with creating a portal to the nether. Or he doesn't know it's going to go to the nether. He's just experimenting with like some... Yeah, okay, you see this? This is what Milby was typing. Yeah, he's drunkers. So what if this scientist is experimenting with portal technology and it ends up linking up to the nether, to hell basically, and quote unquote all hell breaks loose? That might be one way to initiate the end of the world. And then maybe the governments, and you know, I don't have any. I said there was like we could either make it real world or make it true to like Minecraft lore and flavor and whatnot. I'm not going to do one or the other. I'll probably do elements of both. But let's say that the other villages band together and decide they need to wipe out this village before the nether infection or whatever spreads, and so they bomb the hell out of it. That may be one way to end the world. I don't know. We'll see. But so I don't think I'm gonna do the. I think I'm gonna make it mostly on the Minecraft end of the spectrum and not the real world town end of the spectrum. So with that having said, there's not going to be a highway going straight through that's going to be perfectly straight with like a dividing line in between it, but I would like to have sort of a path that leads sort of through this landscape, and then a village that starts on it. So I think that path might be right there. I'm going to go ahead and set up a few blocks real quick to denote where that goes. And so this path doesn't have to be straight. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so next. Ordinarily, if I was starting a project like this, I would probably jot down a bunch of notes on some note paper, maybe draw some sketches of the overall layout of the village. But since I'm making a video, I'd like to keep it as visually oriented as possible for the people watching. So one thing I would brainstorm about is the types of things we would want to have. So first things first is the houses. I want to have small houses. Let's just make this as dense, concise as possible. Medium, small, medium, and large houses. And I'm particularly thinking about the indie zombie game Project Zomboid. I like how they have their town laid out. There's different sizes of houses, different developments. They also have apartment complexes. Maybe there'd be a few apartment buildings in the village, and then maybe a mayor's house. Mayor's house. That would be sort of the biggest house, be up on a hill or something like that. Then we want some stores, maybe like a general store. Actually, I want to have some sort of music building or like a dance hall or something, because I just want to mess around with note blocks. So I want a place where I can do that. So we'll call it how about a discotheque? That's a fun word. Discotheque. How do you spell that? I don't remember. Disco's good. Disco. Then we're gonna want the scientist. Then we want the science building, or how about the research lab? That's what we're gonna call it. Research lab. Okay. Then we'll have maybe like some sort of grocery department store type thing, something like that. All right. Then maybe some small park, large park. Okay. Kind of thing. And let's see, what else could we add? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just keep this I'll keep this in mind, and I'll come back to it if I think of anything else, but I think that'll keep us going, or get us going. Yeah, so the first thing I want to do is work on this path right here and get that set up and looking nice, and then we'll I guess we'll branch off of it All right, more roads added. Big 3-block wide road going through, in and out of town. Then the smaller roads inside of town. So this path goes here, and then I've got some torches gridded out here to denote the plots for the small houses. These squares here are going to be the small houses, and we're going to build one right now. So I was thinking about the small houses being the cheapest ones. Whoa! Caves. I decided that the smallest houses should be made with the cheapest materials, and I'm just going to say that the cheapest materials are going to be whatever's closest. There's a jungle right there. That's the closest source of wood. So I'm going to say the cheapest material, the cheapest wood you could buy would be jungle wood. And if I reserve the right to change my mind if I think it doesn't look good, but yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. And I think the roofs of the cheap houses will be just cobblestone stairs. Which reminds me, I need to make a workbench to access over here. Let's drop this guy on the other side of the street. Yeah, I need some cobblestone stairs. Something like that. Alright, it's getting dark again. Let's go hit up the bed. I demolished all of this because it was kind of getting in the way. I'm going to have to demolish this whole thing pretty soon. But I would like to, when I do that, I'd like to be able to move the villagers into the lower area, which means I'd have to put fences around it, which we'll see. I don't want to put in fences without knowing where they should go. Right, oh, another thing I didn't have is glass. Did I have... Ah, damn it. Okay, let's grab some glass. Yup. Jubba jubba jubba, splat! Glass, glass, glass. Do I have glass? I know I have sand. Here, oh, here's some glass panes. Okay, anything else I'm gonna need while I'm here? I just want the basic houses. I'm not gonna pretty them up too much. Let's go ahead and grab some doors. I don't need all of these slabs right now. So let's drop off a lot of those. We're making 6 houses. We will need 6 doors. Let's see. Are they going to be functional yet? I don't know, but we may have furnaces, we may have bookshelves, and inventory full. I can probably... I don't need all this dirt either. My inventory in this area is really unorganized. That should probably do it, though, for now at least. Yeah, let's grab another... okay. So, that should be enough to get me going. Hey-oh, fall. Okay, so let's do the door. The door is going to be right here. And I may adjust this, I don't know. And then the windows... where would the windows be? I guess this is the smallest house with a flower in the center. Oh. Smallest house. So it's going to be... is that too tall? We'll look at a second. But we'll say 3 windows, 1 on each side. They're going to be small because it's a cheap house, so it's going to be kind of crappy. Like that, and then let's replace the floor. Whoa, okay. Careful. Careful with your excavations here. Oh, and my inventory is full. Well, oh well. This dirt is now lost for all time. There we go. Oh, and I actually need to... crap. I need to place that there. Inventory full. Okay, good. Lovely. So is it going to be too tall? What I'm thinking is, do I want an extra layer of wood up here and then the roof, or just the roof on these short little... I think this... yeah, instinct says... survey says... let's go right to the roof. Okay, so let's have both the wood and the cobblestone. And the cobblestone stairs, let's do it like that. Okay. Boop. No, 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 no. No, no. There we go. Yes. And once I figure out how each one needs to look, I'm just going to duplicate it 5 times. Damn it. Tell you what. There we go. And do we want to go all the way over or fill it in? I will decide that in a minute. How's that look? Is it going to look alright? Yeah, I think it'll look alright. You know what we can do? Oh, here's an idea. I haven't made too many houses of, you know, just like little village houses this size. I'm being struck with ideas here. Being struck right over the head. Okay, let's do that. And that. And that. Hey, yo, can I make this jump? I can. And then let's replace that with wood. And what I'm doing will become apparent in a second here. Okay, so then these are gonna come up to meet in the center. We have an odd number of the width of the house is an odd number. So what's gonna happen right there? I don't know. Maybe half slab or slab, just plain old slab. I don't have any slabs made. Maybe I should put a box here for overflow items. That's probably a good idea. Let's do that right this second. Okay. There. And let's put the extra doors. I don't need the doors in here. And I'm done with the glass. Good. Oh, slabs, right. The whole reason I came over here. Let's make some slabs. I don't need that many. What the stupid... Okay. Slabs. I don't know about that. That looks a little silly. I do not know about that. Alright, well what if we, let's bring it down. Break it on down. Let's, what if we just get rid of all this? Let's get rid of all this. Goodbye. Goodbye! I'm not sure. Alright, I'm going to fiddle with the roof a little bit and find something that works. And there we go. So in the end, I ended up making it a sort of pyramid formation, slopes up towards the center, has an overhang on every side in case you're coming outside and it's raining like it does on the Mindcrack server. Okay, so now I need to make 6 of these, and they're all going to be identical. If I do another little subdivision of small houses, I may make those different, but I want all these to be exactly the same. With the idea being that these were just a cranked out subdivision. Once we get into the bigger houses, like the medium houses, I think will have a little bit of differentiation, customization, and the big ones will probably all be different. Have, you know, the same materials and stuff, but have different layouts because they're more expensive. Alright, so I'm gonna make 6 of these, and yeah. Hey-o. Okay, so the houses are done, and what did I come up here for? I came up here for something. Oh, right. Okay, so I wanted to move the bed down into one of those houses as my first act of, well, I guess my first act was destroying the not blueprint, but prototype village up there. My second act, and here we go, 6 houses. We've got like a little hill here which I didn't remove. I may remove that and just flatten that out. It looks a little odd. I had this idea of like some of the houses are kind of halfway built into the hillside, but I don't know if it's working for me. Anyway, I'm gonna put my bed in here, set my spawn while it's still nighttime. Kersplat. I might not be able to because of that. Where damn monsters at? Probably underground. Where you at? Where you at, guys? Are you down here? Oh, there you are. There you are. Now you're dead. Let's put some torches down here while I'm here. Good enough. Okay, now how did I get... I got here from here. From there. From there, here to there. Okay, let's try that again, now that the monster is dead. Ding dong, the monster's dead. Get out of bed. Did I just pop out? That's... Whoa! Oh, he must be in the nether. I bet he's in the nether at the withered place. Aha! Okay, so, I think I am going to just demolish this and reformat the ground. I also want to... I guess we'll have to redo that. Yeah, I want this to be flat. We can't have interesting hills in the cheap house section. All the interesting hills are like the more expensive land. So the more expensive houses will have that. I guess we gotta pull up all these. Alright, that's nice and flattened out. One last thing I want to do. I want to add some... Mailbox. No, that does not... That doesn't look as good as I thought it might look. I wanted to add some mailboxes. What can we put on top of there that might look okay? Huh. I think the fence post looks alright. I wanted to put mailboxes in. But, I don't think the box on top is too large. So anyway, there's 6 posts. Let's see, what else did I want to do? Oh yeah, the flowers. I would like to do flower pots by the doors. Unfortunately, I don't have much clay. I'm gonna have to go look for a swamp biome because I think that's where all the clay is to be had, and harvest a bunch of clay. And these are flowers I just placed down as they ended up in my inventory. So I'm gonna pick them back up. Any more? I need what, 12 of each? Gosh. Yeah, I need to go find some clay. I would like to put some flower plots out front for these smaller houses. Let's see, 1 more, 2 more. I guess I don't have that many. Oh no, the red ones are over here. Let's go pick up these. So I think this is going to be a slightly shorter episode. My episodes have been getting farther and farther apart, like every 3 or 4 days. And I'd like to get back to doing one every other day. But it can be hard. Let's do it like this. Let's alternate. So I'm gonna try to get a video out every other day for the next week or so. Oh, I have enough. What am I thinking? I'm thinking I need more than I need, but I don't. There we go. Oh, that looks lovely. I will put flower pots in there eventually. And the mailboxes, I just don't know. I thought about maybe signs. I don't know what we could put on there. Tell you what, we'll just do this as like a temporary little thing. Oops, give me that back. Go on top of there. Let's see what happens, what it looks like with all 6 done. Yeah, so I've got plenty of stuff to do this week. But instead of spending hours and hours on each episode, I still spent a couple hours on this one. I spent several hours gathering dirt and spreading out dirt, and then I spent like the last 2 hours making the paths and the houses, and then I need to edit it, and so it seems like, I don't know, the amount of time I spend on episodes has just become ridiculous. So I'm going to try to put out more this week. Let's take a last final look at what the place looks like. Yep, alright, there's the beginning of the village. We'll see you next time for Mindcrack, blah blah blah. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you later. Take it easy. Have a good day. Bye bye.
نعم غير شرف يا عم ده نشيك كده سيريس مسنا باشنك نعرف كان بابا سنه يا إبلو ودني شرف ست سيرفر إيل شابي